Welcome to the Neuropreneur Rising podcast. I'm your host, Polly Pollock, and I'm a marketing mentor, author, and neurospicy business owner, here to guide you in the journey of growing your business, getting seen, and getting clients on your terms. This is the place to be if you're an ADHD or neurodiverse entrepreneur and you're done with forcing yourself into marketing and business strategies that feel restrictive and awkward, and you're ready to embrace how your unique mind works so you can create the success that you deserve. On this podcast, we're going to be talking about ADHD and neuro-friendly marketing, dopamine-driven and sustainable business strategies, and how to get seen and paid your way without the burnout. And a little something to get you started before we dive in. If you're tired of staring at a blank screen when it comes to creating your content, wondering what the hell to post, go and grab the neuro-friendly content kit. It's free and it was built by me for brains like ours. It takes the overwhelm and the confusion and the frustration out of content creation and helps you really showcase your brand and convert your audience into customers. Go ahead and grab it in the show notes. All right, let's jump in. Welcome back to the Neuropreneur Rising podcast. I am going to be talking about a topic today that is going to ruffle feathers. I kind of hope it ruffles feathers because it's a feather that needs to be ruffled, in my opinion. So this is something that has been very much in my kind of orbit in the last definitely 3 to 4 years, but I still see it a lot in just the overall, and I'm going to say women in business kind of community, because it is mostly, I see it most in the kind of the female kind of side of online business, but especially the more spiritual side of online business. And that is the pressure of mindset work in business and the pressure of staying high vibe or having unwavering trust, or, you know, whatever it is that they're not necessarily wrong statements, but it's the way that people go about it and how it is actually quite damaging. And I'm going to explain why. Now, if you know me, you know that I love the shadow work. I incorporate shadow work and spirituality in pretty much everything I do, even if it's just a hint of it. I'm a huge fan of mindset work in the way that it should be used, and I don't believe that anything can or should be done without an element of inner work. So this isn't me bashing it as like an outsider. If you're new here, I'm here for it. I freaking love it all. But I am here to expose the toxicity of it as well. You know, everything in moderation. And I think too much of anything or anything too extreme can go the opposite way and can have the opposite effect. And I do think that that's kind of what's happening here these days with mindset work in business. I think that there is a lot of misinformation going around, not necessarily misinformation, just people talking in absolutes, and saying things like, you know, if your business isn't working, if you're struggling to get clients, if you're struggling to make sales, it's because you're out of alignment. It's because you're not, there's something wrong with your mindset. There's something wrong with you. Honestly, that killed me in business when I first put my business online. And I think that originally it was meant to be like it's an easier fix than you think. Like, it's an element of your strategy, incorporating in. And now it's almost like it's shifted to just like die hard, like your mindset is the only thing running the show in your business. And it's absolute bullshit. And it really did affect me, like, mentally. And I know a lot of my clients who come to me even now, especially now, to be honest, often do say, like, I feel like I'm broken. I feel like there's something wrong with me, because for so long I've been trying to, trust or just get my mindset right or just stay positive, just think happy thoughts, whatever it is. And it is damaging because it takes you away from yourself. You disconnect. You think you're connecting more by trying to take control of your mind, by trying to master your emotions, but really you're bypassing them. So I want to kind of start by normalizing what business really is. And I don't think that there's many people, actually, I mean, maybe there is. I think I come across, and I don't scroll and consume half as much as I used to. I definitely don't follow many. I mean, I follow other business coaches who are my friends, but I don't follow business coaches. I can't bear the space, to be honest with you. But I don't see many people actually saying the normal ups and downs of business, because ultimately maybe it doesn't sell. Maybe they're those kind of people who are preaching the mindset heavy kind of toxic side of mindset work are people who like to sell the dream. That's the pattern I see anyway. But realistically, I'm gonna tell you the ups and downs of business and the ups and downs that you can't avoid. And I think trying to avoid those ups and downs by trying to feel happy all the time will actually get you nowhere in business, because that's not how it goes. So then when things do inevitably go down after they have been up for a while, in some way or another, not always financially, maybe it's something you want to change. When that happens, you're going to feel like you're failing, but you're not. It's just normal business. So, business isn't meant to feel good all of the time. That is the truth. And if it did, the reason it's not is because if it did, you would never know when something needs changing, adapting, fixing, or growing. You would just be on the same thing all the time, and nothing would ever change. And business is about change. It's about adapting. It's like life. It's the same as life. So your business can't feel amazing all the time, because your emotions, at the end of the day, your feelings and your emotions and your ability to experience the very real things that are coming up are the indicators of when something needs to change. And if you didn't feel that, you would be so out of touch with your business. And again, this is why I see this pattern come up with people who are so in that kind of toxic mindset side of it. And I'm struggling to grow my business. I'm struggling to make changes. I'm struggling to see. Of course you fucking are, because you're massively disconnected to the one thing, your internal GPS and your emotions, trying to direct you into where you need to change. But people don't want to see that side of business, I think. People don't want to feel what comes up and what it feels very, very hard and grueling at times, but other times it feels hugely easy. But that's the side of things that people don't want to talk about. And I think it's a shame, because if you did, you'd be prepared for it and it would feel a lot easier. And I learned that the hard way. And even last year, last year was when I really started to break away from the ideals that I was even holding myself under. The routines, the really heavy things. And a lot of that was to do with, me changing my perception of my ADHD and all of that sort of stuff. It was a very big personal thing last year. But feeling resistance where it comes up, feeling the discomfort when it comes up, frustration, all of that is not failing. It's not, oh my God, I've slipped out of my mindset. It's you being a fucking good business owner, because you are so adaptable to change and you're so willing to feel and experience your emotions coming up as they need to be felt. And especially with us neurospicy business owners, we are emotional. ADHD is definitely, emotional dysregulation is kind of a given. So there are boundaries to set. You don't want to go into a complete emotional spiral, but you also can't hold yourself to ideals that don't feel real for you, because you won't move forward. So for an example, if sales are starting to feel hard and you are under the kind of lie that the only thing you need to focus on is mindset work. And I'm not saying mindset work doesn't help. I'm just saying it can't be your entire strategy. It can't. But if you are under the kind of belief that mindset work is the only thing you need to be thinking of, or manifestation is the only thing you need to be doing, and sales are feeling hard, you're going to go straight towards that. And it's like, no, I just need to trust and stay positive and, just think and visualize and just journal. And you're not looking at your strategy. You're not looking at whether you're clear. You're not looking at your messaging. You're not looking at where you're getting visible. You're not looking at, even if you do, from an energetic point of view, you're not looking at the energetics of how you're showing up, all of that stuff. Or maybe you are, but I'm saying, it really takes you away from the things that very much matter. And strategy does matter. I also don't think that just strategy works either. But I'm saying it carries a fair amount of it, especially in the beginning. I think you can get to a point where the majority of your marketing can be more about, inspiration and really speaking and having a voice and activating your brand, all of that stuff. But in the beginning, strategy does matter, because strategy creates routine. It helps you learn. It helps you find your own way of doing things. Without that, you've got no structure whatsoever. And that's where it feels really, really hard. I see this a lot with things like pricing. Pricing's not my bag. within like my programs like Rise, we go into the clarity work is definitely my bag. Phase 1 is all about clarity, niching your ideal client, brand work. I freaking love it. It's my favorite phase. Phase 2 is like building your offers and going through your offer suite, building out back end systems, all of that stuff. But pricing is included in that, but it's not my entire it's not like my forte. But one thing I do see with pricing is people like, you need to just have the mindset that you can charge X, Y, and Z, and if you feel like you can't, then there's something wrong with you. You don't think you're worth it. Like, oh shit, man, I remember my first business coach, she was like, I said, oh, can I have some help on pricing? Yeah, sure. Just charge what you're worth. Oh, whenever I hear someone say that, I want to be sick. I just want to be sick. It literally makes me feel nauseous. Charge what you're worth. Well, sorry, but your worth is not, it cannot be compared to a monetary value at all. So that's stupid. And then I was like, oh, okay, what does that mean? Oh, I think it's all about energetics. Well, it's not. Can you help me price up so I know I'm not overcharging people and I know that I can feel good about the money that I'm charging for my time and my work as well? Given that, like, I was pretty much at the beginning as well. She was like, yeah, I think you should charge 10K. And I'm thinking, I haven't even had that money in my account yet. I don't even know that money exists. 10K? You're joking. Like, and that's normal. Again, you shouldn't charge 10K when you're just starting out. Honestly, I won't get into it. I think I'll do another episode on that. I'm not even going to get into it. I will be here for like half an hour. But, logic needs to come in as well as like mindset work. And I think that people have gotten way in over their heads, especially with things like pricing, especially with things that are potentially going to be dangerous for your clients as well. Like, if you overcharge and under deliver, that's going to be something that you will not recover from. Like, and I'm not talking about, I don't think you should work for free when you first start out. I don't think you should massively undercharge, because that will be a drain on you. But I'm saying it's not always about like, oh, if I just believe I can charge 10K, then people will come in. It's like, okay, let's not. And, as another point, people, I think, get into the habit of blaming lack of sales on energy rather than structure, rather than looking at, okay, what do I need to learn more about? What do I need to fix? Like, I think I'm saying all of this from a place of love. If this is you, please don't think that I'm saying this in a way that is like you should feel ashamed or you should feel like you're doing something wrong. It happens to the best of us. It happened to me multiple times. Like, I'm saying this from a place of like, I really do see you in this. And it honestly, I think most people go through it these days, especially if you're running something like a spiritual business or a soul-led business. It's huge. And when I went through this, naturally, I have always been the type of person who, I'm a hard worker. I love the logic behind things. I love teaching. I love structure. And I really tried to make myself not be that. Like, I'm a Capricorn moon. It's in my astrology. Like, I really do love it. And that's why I love teaching it, as well as, inner work. And, I love to get to the emotional root of things as well. But I really tried to change myself out of that. I was thinking, oh yeah, well, I've had a bad experience in corporate in my past jobs. I can't think like that anymore. Really, I became so avoidant to structure, and I went the complete other way, and my business really suffered for it, to be honest. And that's why I try and find a really happy medium with clients now, because where we are, Neurospicy especially, we want freedom, but we also want structure. That's the kind of the real kind of side of it. So having both is where I try and keep it. And so I think this is going to end up being a way longer episode than I thought. So go and grab a cup of tea. We're about to get into it. So I want to help you now kind of reframe this. If you've been stuck in this kind of really almost restrictive rules that you're trying to put yourself in, like, I need to keep my mindset doing this, or I need to have this routine every single day, and you're doing it and you're actually seeing nothing change as well, then I want you to kind of reframe and look at how you interact with your discomfort. What if as you perceive them, negative emotions weren't actually a problem? What if they were not actually trying to put you back at 1,000 steps like you think they are. And that's not to say, yes, we do have our patterns that sabotage us. Yes, we absolutely do have that voice in our head that can just absolutely do one sometimes, that is saying, I'm not talking about your inner critic. So what I want to ask you to kind of feel into is the inner critic is someone in your head who is like, you can't do it, you're a failure, you're stupid, you're this, you're that. All of that is just your inner critic. Yes, we need to hear elements of our inner critic. I go into this massively in my book. Just on a side note, Shadow Work for the Soul Searcher. I will leave it in the description, just in case you wanted to take a peek, just while we're at it. But elements of our inner critic need to be heard. Yes, for sure. But what I'm talking about is those emotions and those parts of us that come up and try that it's where we feel into misalignment. Essentially, it's when you get a feeling that something isn't quite fitting, or maybe you feel frustrated, or maybe you feel, oh, okay, I didn't have a very good month this month, or maybe it's been 3 months now and something isn't working anymore. Allowing yourself to really be honest with, okay, let's do a fucking review. Like, what has been going well, what has not been going well in business. You know what I mean? Rather than, oh, it'll be fine, it's been 3 months now and I've had no clients, it'll be fine, I just won't change anything and I will just trust and I will just, I'll shut the laptop and I'll just go for a walk. It's there are times when, like, I will often say, like, if a client she's in a launch or whatever, and they've done everything that they can, planned out the launch, they've done all their posting, they've done all their outreach, they've done all their emails, they've done everything they possibly can, and now they have nothing else to do. I will often say, okay, shut your laptop and get out and go for a walk, go and do something, go and have a meal, whatever you want to do for fun. You got nothing else to do, because if you sit there and stare at your laptop, it will have a bad effect. But there's a difference between doing that and then when things are going particularly not well, then just becoming avoidant with it and ditching. We don't want to be doing that. And so what I want you to try is, when you have those things coming up, not letting it, your inner critic eat away at you, but just practicing slowly letting those things in. Because I think when you get into the toxic side of mindset work, you almost have a hard shell, a hard exterior that is a safety. And you're so afraid to break that, because it's like, well, if I break that, everything's going to go to shit. Everything's going to go even worse. And oh my God, it's going to just be the most awful thing in the world. When really you need to kind of break through that false positivity to look at, okay, we're going to start over. Let me look at where I need to adjust things. Like, it's kind of a necessary thing. So just practicing letting those things in when they come up, like just almost being your own kind of back, being your own kind of best friend at this point. Like, it's okay to feel those things. Like, let's talk about it, So, it's okay to grow. It's okay to feel. And I don't like the word failing. I like the word experiencing, because I don't think that you ever fail in business. The only time you fail, and it's okay to call this failing, is when you pack it in and you say, that didn't work for me. I'm going to pack in the entire business. I'm done. And even that, you don't even have to use the word fail. It's really moving on. But the only time you ever really fail is when you do that. Again, that's okay, but not ideal. Either way, you don't fail when you start over. You don't fail when you stop doing a launch midway because it feels ridiculously unaligned. And I'm not saying that that's a good thing to do, or like you should do that often. I'm saying that sometimes that will happen for people, is maybe once in their business journey, they'll be like, no, I messed up, I need to shut this launch down. So if you're feeling resistance in a launch, it might be that, you're not actually excited about your own offer. It might, and again, this is a difference between resistance and almost the fear of being seen. Your fear of being seen is what you want to watch out for, that you don't act on, because that is likely self-sabotage. But this is what I'm talking about. When you actually learn to get in touch enough with your own emotions rather than bypassing them with mindset work, or the toxic side of mindset work, you know the difference, because you're so in touch, which is why not being in touch with them is so dangerous. So like, if you're feeling anxious around posting, maybe your messaging is off. maybe you feel like you're not clear. Or maybe, again, it's your fear of being seen, but you won't know unless you're in touch with your emotions. But just to recap, the truth of it is that successful entrepreneurs, whether they want to tell you, I mean, and again, I won't get into this, but I think a lot of people are preaching success through staying positive all the time. And I'm not sure they are walking the talk, if you get what I mean. But successful entrepreneurs aren't positive all the time when they are growing their business. Like, yes, you get to a place in your business, maybe you've been in business for 10 years and you're at a place where your business is running itself, things are very much ticking over, and maybe things are less up and down than in the first 5 years when you grew your business, for example. But successful entrepreneurs aren't positive all the time. They're not fake all the time. They are so aware of what is happening in their business, what is happening in their market, what is happening within them in their life, like what needs to be changed and adapted to fit you. So important. The goal isn't to feel good 100% of the time. I would actually encourage not feeling good 100% of the time. And this is something that I have learned, again, the hard way myself. It might feel better in terms of you may be repressing things, but it doesn't do your business any better to pretend like you're feeling good 100% of the time. The goal is to feel connected to what is real within you and within your business. So yeah, I want to share that, and I feel like I should share that, and I feel like it will ruffle feathers because that's what I do sometimes, apparently. So, but I hope it does, because I'm not here to not ruffle feathers. I'm here to support people, neurodiverse people especially, in running their business through the lens of reality and not falsity. So I hope it does ruffle feathers. And if you can relate to anything that I've said, I just really want to, just say it again. You're not doing anything wrong. You're not failing. You're not, falling off. You're not doing anything that you shouldn't be doing by being real with yourself. So I'm going to leave it there for today. Please, if you are into what I spoke about with shadow work, please go and grab my book. If it sounds like something you'd like to go through, everything in there is kind of through the lens of like life overall, but really definitely can be applied to business. So go ahead and grab that. I've also got my freebie, my my neuro-friendly content kit. I've got my mentorship intensives, my 2 and 4 week, and then I've got my bespoke long-term mentorship application. So if you'd like to go and check that out, then that is all there for you to see. My bespoke mentorship and the 2 and 4 week intensives are pretty much tailored to exactly what you need. There's not a curriculum. It's not focused on any one thing. So if you're kind of in this place of trying really, really hard to push through things like mindset work, or, if you've fallen into the toxic side of mindset work, or you've just been focusing on mindset and not strategy, and you want to intertwine to do both, then that's something that we can tailor it towards. If it's more focused on visibility and the fear of showing up, it's there for that. If it's just strategy, it's there for that. If it's socials, it's there for that. If it's off of socials, it's also there for that. So it's completely tailored. So please feel free to check that out. And of course, if you have any questions, or you just want to chat more to see if it's right for you, you can DM me at Neuropreneur Rising. And I will see you next time.